Hey everyone, it's your friend Think Noodles, and welcome to Ask Think for October 2015. And yes, I do mean for October because the next one's in November, because these are now monthly. I know you guys ask in the comments less and less. I think people are starting to get it, but I just want to reinforce that Ask Think is the first Monday of every month. Now, last month I asked you guys a question, and it's, what weird or strange belief did you have when you were younger / a kid? Because I know a lot of you guys, most of you guys are still kids, even me. So we'll start with Dark Diamond, and it says, I used to think stuffed animals would move when you weren't looking, so I ran out of the room and poked my head in, looking to see if they moved or not. Bingun3 says, the weirdest thing I believed when I was 5 was that my toys became alive when no one is looking. I still do believe a little bit, by the way, I'm 8 now. Owlover says, I thought my toys had feelings, like if I didn't sleep with all of them, the ones I didn't sleep with would be jealous because they didn't get to go on the crazy adventures I went on before I went to sleep. I went on underwater and space adventures and did many cool adventures before sleeping. What? Don't you mean when you were dreaming? I don't go on any adventures before I go to sleep. Blue Shadow RP says, some of my weirdest beliefs as a kid were climbing staircases as if they were mountains or another kind of structure. Also making a house in my bed with blankets and pillows. Those were some good times. Gavin Davis says, when I was a kid, I believed that my parents adopted me from another planet. My sisters would always tell me that, and when I was a kid, I believed everything she said. You know, I think it was either me or my sister would tell the other one that they were adopted, and my dad always had this joke, and he still tells it to people, although, you know, it's like in past tense now, but he would tell this to other people. He would say, oh yeah, you know, I always tell my kids that that they were adopted. So my sister would say, Justin, you know, mom and dad adopted you. You're not their real son. And my dad would say, you're right. He was adopted. And then they brought him back. So, yeah. Ritu Pants says, the weirdest thing when I was a kid that I did was to try to step on my own foot shadow, but I never got to. And also, I used to try to balance the 2 switches of light, like on and off at the middle. And I can't imagine what it was like in the room where you're flicking it on and off, like little, trying to balance it in the middle. Carson Smith says, I used to believe that the drain of the pool, the filter on the wall, or whatever you call it, would suck me in when I would swim and never went near it. Oh, that's a pretty common one. Gaming with Logan says, my weirdest belief was on my couch, a piece of thread that was sticking out. I used to believe it was alive, but it was really just my breath moving when I talked to it, and yes, I talked to it. The Shy Flower says, when I was little, I used to think there was a secret code I had to discover so I could pass my hand through the TV and teleport into the show I was watching. Yep, and a lot of people had the TV thing, and I think we'll see a couple more in a minute. The Super and the Aslan says, I would think that the moon was following us whenever we would drive. I would cry because I thought it was gonna hurt me. Aww. Cowley Mushroom Moose says, when I was a bit younger, I thought that these giant power line towers were giant monsters holding forks and eating spaghetti. The spaghetti was the actual power lines. I also thought there was this creature called a sun monster that would try to eat my family, mostly my mom. Okay, your poor mother. I only remember seeing a light in my closet, nothing else really. Brad Gerthofer says, one of my weirdest beliefs as a kid was that if you dug a hole straight down long enough, you would come out in China. And at the time, I thought people were stupid for paying to fly places. I now realize how unrealistic that is. I had that belief too. Bridget Donlin says, reply to the question of the week. When I was younger, I knew that drinking and driving was illegal. So I thought you couldn't drink anything while driving. So I would get mad at my mom. Yes, I say mom. When she was drinking coffee because I thought she was breaking the law. Keela Brillin says, I actually have 2 weird things I believe. No, wait, 3. One, that eating a watermelon seed would grow a watermelon in my tummy. My parents used to tell me that, and think, yeah, they would say that watermelon vines would grow out of my ears, so I guess I believe that too. That planting a stick would grow a tree the next day, and that the cause of rain was when a baby cloud got separated from its mommy, and they both started crying. Aww. Banana Man Plays MC says, when I was a kid, well, I guess I still am, I used to think that real hearts inside of our bodies were shaped like a cartoon heart like this one. I think that a lot of people, sometimes I think when I think of a heart, I still do. Elias Morales says, my weirdest beliefs were thinking that there was gold under the sandbox at my school. I like gold. Well, you know, technically, people at the beach go with metal detectors because there's kind of gold buried underneath those because people lose their jewelry at the beach. So you're kind of right there. Slap Happy Horse says, when I was little, my dad works for a brick company. Whenever he went to work, he would say, I'm going to the plant today. And then I would always think he was going to a greenhouse. Then it was take your kid to work day. And then I realized a brick plant is where bricks are made. Winnie says, when I was younger, 4 or 5 maybe, my older sister had a snowman keychain and convinced me, with quite a bit of persuading, that while I was sleeping, she used it to go to the fairy world and help defeat Jack Frost and his goblins. She was a big fan of the Rainbow Magic book series. Once, she told me that if I gave her my Halloween candy, she'd consider taking me one night. I believed her. Oh yes, older siblings. Older siblings. GWBY206 says, my weirdest belief was that I had a limit of candy I could eat each week, and if I passed it, all my candy would taste like tomatoes. My parents told me, P.S. they knew I hated tomatoes. No tomatoes. Oh man, that's a great one because that's a way for parents to say, okay, but if you eat more than 10, all gonna taste like tomatoes. And then you won't eat it because you hate tomatoes, and then your parents limited the amount of candy you eat. And here's another TV one, although a bit more violent. Creeper Keeper says, well, I always thought if I broke the glass on the TV, I would be able to go to that place like Thomas the Tank Engine or go to the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Yeah, I'm just glad I never broke the TV. I think your parents probably are as well. And another destructive one, this one took the cake, actually, for me. It was Duck Rock MC says, oh man, I'm glad you asked this. I've got a few. One, that there were fish in my parents' waterbed. I wanted to save them. So I sliced it open with a pair of scissors, panicked, stuffed the gash with Kleenex, covered it back up, and went on my way. 3 hours later, I went to the basement and there was water dripping from the ceiling. Having forgotten about the bed, I accidentally told on myself. Oh my goodness, I cannot imagine how upset your parents must have been. 2, I thought that the world before my birth was black and white. Every photograph before my birth was black and white, and every photograph after my birth was colored. Yeah, not sure what went on in my brain. I'd tell more, but this comment is way too long. I was a pretty stupid kid. Wow. Oh, that waterbed. That's crazy. Well, for me, I think the weirdest belief that I had as a kid, and I don't know, I didn't see anyone else put this in the comments, so maybe it was unique. I had an older friend. His name was Shane. And I would say, I mean, he wasn't really a friend. He was just an older kid. And I wanted to be like him, but he was kind of a bad kid. Anyway, he was probably, I would say about 4 years older than me, and I was like 5. So the kid was 9. So I kind of like looked up to him because he was older. And I thought that, in a couple of years' time, I would catch up to him. For some reason, it didn't occur to me that every year that passed for me would pass for him. And when I turned 6, he would turn 10. And when I turned 7, he would turn 11. I thought that there was this, I don't know what, that I would actually catch up to him in age. And that was just, yeah, it didn't make sense, but it made sense to me at the time. So for next month's question, it comes to us from Michael Bandojo, and it says, if you were to make a mod, what would you name it? And what would it add to your Minecraft world? I really like this one. And I have to say, though, that reading your comments and weird beliefs may have been my favorite Ask Think question for you guys of all time. It made me laugh so much when I was reading them. Now, before we get to the questions for me, don't forget to leave your questions in the comments below so I can have something to answer in the next episode. Remember, only one question per comment, but you can leave as many comments as you like. Also, if the comments on this episode of Ask, Think, or Close, just go to the most recent episode and ask your question there. Now, on to the questions, and of course, every September, we get this question, and it's always from 1999 Blue, and it's, what do you think of the XYZ new Apple products? And it's iPad Pro, Apple TV, iPhone 6s, 6s Plus. You know, I only got one of the devices. I don't really need an Apple TV. I've got a smart TV. It's got apps built in. And I also have a TiVo that has apps built in. And I don't really need an Apple TV. So I'm not really that interested in that product. iPad Pro, I don't need a 12-inch tablet. Or 13? Is it 12.9 or 11.9? I think it's, I don't know. Don't need one. I've got my iPad Air. Happy with it. Or iPad Air 2. And iPhone 6s. I have one. You guys know that every time a new iPhone comes out, I always get the new one, and this was no exception. And I like it. Nando Nugget says, have you ever had the hiccups in the middle of a video? And this was really, really, really super upvoted. You guys can see that. No, I don't think that I have. I don't get hiccups very often. And if it were, I mean, usually I only get them, I don't know, it's a weird thing. Like if I eat something dry, like really dry bread or something, it gives me the hiccups. My wife says it's really weird, but I don't know. Anyway, usually it's only after eating or something. So yeah, I don't usually record videos immediately after eating. Kind of like, you know, you shouldn't swim right after eating. I don't know. Logan Kerr says, hey, Think, what happened to Think Thursday? Will there be one this week? Probably this week. It's just been moving and all that stuff, and then I had jury duty, and September was a really, really tough month for me, just to even keep up with my standard schedule. I've got all these meetings pushed off till this week because I couldn't get any of them done this week. It's just been so much, and I'm still not moved in. I mean, technically, we've got all the boxes unpacked, but there's still stuff I have to put on the walls. I don't have all my sound panels up yet. Finally got a rug for the office over the weekend. But yeah, still a lot of work to do. Novacat asks, what's the most frequently asked question you get? Can you name my minion? Or can you name a minion after me? By far the most frequently asked question. It's asked across a lot of different videos. And I think someone talks about that later, but yeah, that's the most common question. The next person says, hey, do you think you could do an apartment tour when you're all moved in? Well, you know, I did the one with Kopi with it empty. As far as being when I'm all moved in, probably not, because there's pictures all over the walls of my wife and I and my family and things like that. And, you know, but that said, once the office is done, we're getting a desk for my wife as well. So once we get her desk and her chair in here and I get the sound panels on the wall and everything's set, and then I clean up, then I'll do an office tour for you guys. Jessica Osborne says, could you make a Facebook or something like that for those of us who don't have Twitter? Or could you post something on Instagram to let us know on there that you're doing a live stream or something? Thanks, and of course, Noodle on. Well, I do have a Facebook page. If you look in the description of any of my videos, my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are all there. So you can go ahead and follow those or like them, or follow, like, what do you do on Instagram? You follow too, right? Or subscribe? I don't know what it's called. But yeah, and as far as doing live stream, you know, the only time I'm going to do live streams is probably going to be here on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube and watching one of my videos, I think when I stream, that little part that comes out like about a minute into the video, it'll say live streaming now or something like that. Also, I think if you go to my main channel page, if I'm live streaming, it'll show up right there, I think. Faustina Zhang says, hey, Think. You probably won't reply or show this on Ask Think. Well, you were wrong. When you were a kid, did you have a pet gecko or something? Because that would be cool. And one question per comment. But no, I didn't have a pet gecko. But and it wasn't even when I was a kid. But I had a Chinese water dragon. You know, like maybe about 10 years ago. Well, I mean, I got her 10 years ago. and she lived about 8 years, so she died about 2 years ago. But yeah, we did. Impossible Dreamer Mythical Beast says, "Hey Fink, can you raise just a single eyebrow in real life?" No, I can't. My sister can, but I can't. Tony Johnson says, "Listen, we have a big problem. Every single video, Five Nights at Freddy's fans fill your comment section asking you to play it. All of us subscribers are trying to stop them, but we're outnumbered. Please make it clear that you will not play it." It's not really a big problem. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I think that any person who doesn't play Five Nights at Freddy's, even the ones that do, probably get these comments as well. I mean, it's just a popular series, and you know, you could say the same for someone maybe who doesn't play Minecraft and does gaming. Although I don't know that there are a lot of those, but you know, a few. I bet in their comments it says "play Minecraft, play Minecraft, play Minecraft." So that's just YouTube. Really, not anything you can do, and really, you don't need to keep trying. I have considered though, just because you know people want it, and just to sort of troll the people that keep doing it, because I feel like some of them are trolling me to play it, is to like play it, right? And then like change this, like, so you know, when one of them comes and you know jumps scares, I would actually like cut to like pink unicorns and fluffy rainbows, you know, and I would like dance to it or something, and you know, and just change it up. It's completely troll them into thinking it's gonna be this scary thing, and then have it be like happy and me not be scared at all. But I feel like I get a lot of dislikes for that. I don't know, but it might be fun to say, look, okay, here, I played it, but I also happen to change a little bit to suit my style. Anyway, Caleb Brillon says, "Do you have any allergies? If so, what are they?" Mine are pollen, dust, and smoke. You know, as a kid, I used to have a lot more, but I got weekly allergy shots, which was the worst. So it's really and cats, technically peanuts, but I eat them all the time. Or well, I eat peanut butter all the time, and I'm fine. And then I feel like there might be some sort of pollen or weed that I'm allergic to, but mostly it's cats. Elvis Castillo asks, "Can you play Ark, please, for Fan Choice Friday?" Well, I do own it. I bought it and I tried it, and even using well, it's a Windows game, but even using Windows, my computer, when it's recording, I have to lower the quality settings like really far to even make it playable. That game is so demanding that my computer really can't handle it very well. Bounty Gaming asks, "Think, when did you first watch Star Wars? Who with? And also, what do you like about it?" Well, okay. So I don't remember. Okay, so I don't remember the first time I watched it because I was in my mom's tummy. So my parents, when I don't know, well, I'd have to look at the release date of the original Star Wars movie, but my mom does say that the first movie technically that I ever watched was when she was pregnant with me, and it was Star Wars, which is why I'm a total geek now. I blame it on her. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, after that, I really don't know. I mean, I remember we had a copy of all three on VHS, but I don't know how old I was when I actually watched it outside of the womb. XX Pizza Gamer XX says, "What is your favorite fruit?" Mine's banana. Well, that's Kopi's favorite fruit. And, you know, avocados are fruits, and I love avocados, but technically that's not a sweet fruit. But I guess if I had to, like, think about it, I would say I really, really like passion fruits. Nova Cat asks, "How's your new place?" It's great. We really love it. It's almost twice the size of our old apartment, and that has been amazing, having all this space. Having my own office is great. I like the neighborhood better, too. It's quieter than where we used to live, so that's nice. I mean, you know, relative to New York City, but yeah, we're really, really happy. Dunlop Player asks, "Would you consider yourself a conservative or liberal?" And Anti-Troll 1000 says, "I feel like he leans more on the liberal side." Yes, that's true. You know, prior to living in New York, well, I lived in Massachusetts and then California, and California is a liberal state, and I lived there quite a long time. And then living in New York, I've lived here so long, Massachusetts, I feel like is liberal as well. Well, at least the people I knew and associated with were liberal, and you know, so having not really grown up liberal, because I lived in the South for a while and that was conservative, but I was too young to really understand political anything. Yeah, I definitely lean liberal. Minecraft Kitty Game says, what do you think about animals being used for entertainment purposes for circus and SeaWorld? Well, you know, I really don't. I think I've talked about this before, but I really don't like those, you know, SeaWorld and dolphin discovery and things like that, because they separate these animals, you know, the dolphins and whales, and even in the circus, elephants. These are highly social and familial creatures, and they are taken from their families and never see them again. And you know, that's like, you know, taking with the intelligence of these animals, it's like taking one of us away from our family, separating us from our own family, and you know, putting us in jail. And these creatures did nothing wrong, and they'll never see their families again, and I hate that. GWBY206 says, when did you first have the thought I should be a YouTuber? I never had that thought, honestly. You know, I started my YouTube channel as a compliment to the blogs and forums that I had for Webkins and Club Penguin and things like that. And it just so happened that it became like successful enough that I just started to focus more on it. But I never had the thought like, oh, you know, right here, I'm going to be a YouTuber. That never really happened. Vanessa Miraz asks, has Kopi ever run away from you in real life? No. Kopi is very dependent upon me and my wife. So anytime, even if we're in a dog park that's got a fence around it, she does not like not being able to see us. So if she were to go and look at something, or, you know, see another dog, and I hid behind something, as soon as she stops looking at that dog, she'll turn and look for me. And if she can't see me, she will freak out and start like pacing around the dog park looking for me. So no, she would never ever run away. NMP 2005 asks, will you do Things Lab more often? I wish that I could, but a Things Lab takes me a full day every single time. And sometimes more. Sometimes I'll do the building. So if I'm doing a Wednesday Things Lab, sometimes I'll do the building and setup all on Tuesday, and then the recording and editing on Wednesday. It really takes a lot out of me, and I try my best not to do any work on Saturdays and Sundays. So I need the extra time. So Wednesdays and Fridays are 100% dedicated to Things Lab. So I only have Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday to do videos for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Or I guess Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, because I do Friday and Friday. No, wait. Oh, gosh. So yeah, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday to do videos for Friday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday and Thursday, right? Yeah. So I have 3 days to do videos for 5 days of videos, and then, you know, the 2 days that are dedicated to Things Lab. It's confusing, but what I'm trying to say is I couldn't dedicate another full day to another Things Lab. It just, I'd have to drop a lot of videos to do that. Unidentified Banana says, when you record videos with other people, how do you hear each other's voices? We use Skype most of the time. It's not ideal because Skype has less than the voice quality is just not there compared to other services, but it's just easy, and it happens to be what everyone uses. Moni RB says, OMG, am I hallucinating, or did I see you on TV? Yeah, I got a lot of those comments, and yes, the gaming show in my parents' garage finally was syndicated to the US, so a lot of you guys saw me on Disney XD. Superman X923 Plays says, what do you think about Dan's tattoo? You better answer. And I was going to just ignore all of these, but there were so many of them. I was like, you know what? Because, you know, I usually just answer questions about me, but I guess I know Dan pretty well, and, you know, you guys know him through my channel, or probably know my channel through his channel, truthfully. You know, that's something that he likes. It's hard for me to make a judgment on what other people do with their bodies, because I personally would never get a tattoo, but that's how I feel about my body. But I know other people that I have friends that have tons of tattoos and they love them. And I think that some of them are beautiful. And it's all a personal choice. And, you know, I love that for him. I love that he chose that. And I think he designed it himself, which I really, really like. But personally, I would never get a tattoo. So it's hard for me to make a judgment, but I'm glad he got what he wanted. 95 Ragefire says, I saw what you said about Mario Maker on the last Fan Choice Friday, and it got me thinking, how often do you play games just for fun nowadays? Like, not at all related to recording. Well, I don't really do it very often. Because I feel like if I'm playing a game on the computer, why not record it for you guys, you know? But I guess, and nobody, very, very few people caught this. So maybe not that many people play it, but I've been playing a lot of Juice Jam. And I referenced it in the last Think Slab about Mango the dog, because I'm stuck on this level. I want to get 3 stars on it, and the dog wants 67 crackers. And I've played it like 100 times, and I cannot get 3 stars on it. Matt's Fun says, think Noodles when you played Bloons TD Battles. When I heard you doing the Dumb Ways to Die 2 video that there was cartoon violence, maybe you shouldn't play those violent games. Because your channel is family friendly, your channel should stay family friendly, but you can kind of play those games as long as it's not too violent. Right, so, yeah, I mean, in the Dumb Ways to Die 2, it's like semi-violent. You know, it really wasn't terribly violent, and it's about safety and stuff, and that's, it's something that I didn't consider, because, you know, it's, especially in the, it was more for the Can Your Pet. Just because it was a surprise at the end, that you get invested, or people, younger kids got invested in the little character that I created, and when it got shredded or whatever, it got canned, they got upset, and I got some notes from parents that weren't encouraging, let's just say that. So what I decided to do was, when I did Dumb Ways to Die 2, I knew that there was going to be violence in it. So before I started recording, I said, hey, just a heads up, this is slightly violent, but you know, it's not really, really super realistic or gory or anything like that. It's just, you know, jokey kind of fun. So yeah, no, I definitely don't have plans to play any violent games. But if it's something like Dumb Ways to Die 2 that everybody really wanted me to play and people knew what to expect, I mean, it says Ways to Die in the title of the video, I felt like it was okay. 95 Ragefire says, you know, you should totally get a Wii U, not only because of the obvious, but it also gives you much, much more fan interaction. I mean, Mario Kart Championships, Splatoon, private matches, Smash Brothers, the upcoming Mario Maker. This is endless. Plus, you control the people who insist you play Grand Theft Auto by playing Lego City Undercover. It's GTA, but in Legos. Seriously, you should do that. Also means you get Shovel Knight and the Amiibo, 2014 Game of the Year, that game. Very cheap system, only $200. Okay, so I have a Wii U now. Not necessarily because of your comment, but a lot of people were asking me to play Mario Maker. A lot. Everybody wants me to play it. And I was like, yeah, I know. Just like everybody wanted me to play Mario Kart, etc. Well, apparently, it's like the marketing company for Nintendo. They want me to play it as well. So they sent me a copy of Mario Maker and an Amiibo. And I was like, oh, now I've got this game I can't even play. So it forced me to buy a Wii U. They did it. So you can blame Nintendo or the marketing company for Mario Maker for that, or thank them, I guess. So I now have a Wii U. I haven't unboxed it yet. Maybe I'll do an unboxing video. I've never done that before. Oh, anyway, yeah. So I've got a Wii U. I've got Mario Maker. I think it came with. I think I got the Super Mario 32. I don't know, some game, I don't know, some bundle one. I also went on Amazon and bought Mario Kart 8. I also bought Splatoon because my wife's cousin has been begging me on Facebook to play with him. And based on your suggestion, I may also get Lego City Undercover. This is crazy. Yeah. And Warus129 asks, think, are you a squid or are you a kid? And I know that is Splatoon, so I just wanted to say, yep, I'm a squid now, I'm a kid now, whatever. I don't know. I haven't played it, but I do know the thing. Noel Currington says, hey, Think, the new series you're doing with Dan and James, will it be something to do with Pokemon or just Minecraft? Just Minecraft, but modded, and it'll be our own custom mod pack. Loosely based off another mod pack, but we've added a few things to it. Thing is, it's going to be a little wild, guys. We were probably going to start it this week, but something happened to one of us. You guys probably all know, but Dan broke his hand. So he can't really play Minecraft. Can't play anything with a mouse. He can't hold a mouse for the next like 5 weeks. So I wish we could start now, but we can't. We have everything almost ready. I guess it just gives us more time to perfect all of the mods and also maybe build a nice spawn area for the map. But soon, as soon as Dan gets the cast off, how about that? Nessie Andrew says, I'm also doing custom mod adventures. Do you have any advice for me, like how to position the camera or what sound effects I should use? Well, as far as camera position, really depends from scene to scene and what you're trying to accomplish. I like to mix it up, but not a lot. I do a lot of the first-person camera, and then you know, just through your crosshairs and your oh gosh, why can't yeah, you're just your item bar on the bottom. But yeah, you know, just once in a while, throw a different camera position in there to mix things up a little bit. Close-ups on the face are always good. As far as sound effects, I just use what's built into Final Cut Pro. ShadowDerp74 says, are you looking forward to the new game coming out, Minecraft Story Mode, and are you going to play it? Yes, and yes, I've already pre-ordered it on Steam, and I am ready to go. Vincent Torrijos asks, how do you pick the new minion in Things Lab? Usually randomly. I just open up a bunch of comments, scroll up and down, and wherever my mouse falls, that's the one I pick. Other times, as you can tell, recently, I've had a few suggestions from you guys. So when I do take suggestions on the comments, and I have a bunch of them just sitting in a document waiting, when I do pick a comment that I'm going to use for the inspiration of the video, I name the minion after the person who made the suggestion. Karen Montgomery asks, hey Think, why is it that your Minecraft account name is Real Think Noodles instead of just Think Noodles? Was it taken or something? Yes, it was taken. Think Noodles was taken, and the only thing I could really think of at the time, I could have probably done Think Noodles MC, which I do have now, but at the time I just went, Real Think Noodles. Kitten Lover says, how do you do the voices of Kevin and Dave when they talk? Actually talk, not just what they always say. Well, that's all in editing, and I haven't done a speed edit of Things Lab recently. But this most recent one, I knew that I had pretty much everything I needed. I wasn't going to have to jump out and do any dubs for their voices or anything. So I did record myself editing the most recent Things Lab, and I'll probably put that up. Mr. Pickles says, how do you put TNT in a custom NPC, Kevin's hand? I had tried it in my videos with Kevin, but it kept going into my hotbar instead. How do you do that? Well, it depends. If you mean while you're playing and you want to hand him something like TNT or anything, it can't be a custom NPC. It actually has to be the minion's entity, and then you can swap things in his hand. Now, if you want to do it through custom NPCs, so like you set him up and you're going to interact with him and you just want him to have TNT in his hand, just edit him with the custom NPC's wand, and then click to the inventory tab and then just put it in there. Tucker Lehman asks, will time machines ever be invented? Yes, of course. I'm from the future. You knew that already. And I got here via time machine. So yeah, of course. Whatever. Anyway, guys, that's it for this episode of Ask Think. Don't forget to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer in the next episode. Also, guys, please, these take me a very long time to do, so please do go ahead and pick up those chopsticks and poke that like button as hard as you can. Also, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, please do go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching, and of course, Noodle on!